Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha On Hallelujah On Hallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha On Hallelujah On Hallelujah Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha On Hallelujah On Hallelujah Selah. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and it is Shabbat Shuvah. Tonight we are in this contemplative space between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, a time to make atonements, a time to forgive others, a time to take stock of our lives and determine where we want to go in this next year. We begin our Shabbat service this evening on page 124 of Mishkan Tefillah. We enter this space together to welcome Shabbat. Within our walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built their synagogues as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into our virtual sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its thresholds of time. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away as we turn on our live streams. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. On page 120, we have the blessing for the candle lighting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. On pages 138 and 139, we have Lecha Dodi. We sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we reach verse 9, I invite you to rise and face whatever way the Shabbat comes in for you. In the synagogue, we would face the door, but from our own homes tonight, maybe you face your front door, maybe you face a window, maybe you face your own beloved as you say the words, enter my beloved, come and meet the Shabbat with me. Lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekah Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad V'shem u'tiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Mikrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sov ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi uri shir daberi. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Now that we've set our intentions this evening with our opening chant of Ashrei and our opening reading, we've lit our Sabbath candles and welcomed in the Sabbath bride, we are ready to segue into our Shabbat Mariv service with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei rabba, ve'amad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayetecho bet Yisrael, bagala, u'bizman kariv, ve'imeru amen, yehesh merabba mevarach, Alamu alme amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'romam v'naseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei d'kudashah b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'ama ve'imeru amen. On page 146, we come to the Baruch Hu. Please prepare yourself for the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We continue together on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. May you, ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael. Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachteinu, Enu nasiach bechukecha, venismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki chayenu, le'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Yahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On pages 152 and 153, we have the Shema, followed by the Ve'ahavta. I invite you to prepare yourself for these words of Torah. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech U'shachbecha, u'fkumecha, u'shartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'yisharecha, le'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti, Etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiyos lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from oppressors' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh. Malachutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki v'adat Adonai et Yaakov, v'lo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming, to life and to peace, evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat La'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Beini ubein bnei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat La'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat La'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat La'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. We come now to the central portion of our evening prayer. Please note, as it is Shabbat Shuvah, there are a couple added lines in our tefillah this evening, which begins on page 164 and continues over the next few pages. I invite you to prepare yourselves for these blessings. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatech, Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Ufi Agitahimatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagim Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagim Tehilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, V'yi'ula Livnei V'neihem, V'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech HaFetz B'chaim, V'chodenu B'sefer HaChaim, L'ma'ancha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'Azrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atara Ve'Hoshia, Moriv Hatah, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Mishenei Alachar, Micha Mocha Baal Geburot, Umidol Melech, Melech Mimitu Mechayem, Umatmiach Yeshua, Micha Mocha Parachamim, Zocher Yitzurav L'chaim Barachamim, L'neheman Atal HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, Kadoshim b'chol yom Hallelujah Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. You may be seated if you rose. And we continue together on page 172. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah. The heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, Grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 174. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold the loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, machazir shechinato letzion. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. Inscribe all the children of your covenant for a good life. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Page 178. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Letov benecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. In the book of life, blessing, peace, and prosperity, may we be remembered and inscribed by you, we and all your people, for a good life and for peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who makes peace. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh ha-shalom. We take a moment now for silent prayer. There's a dead bug in my book. We take a moment now for silent prayer. You might use the words on pages 180 and 181, or the meditations of your own heart. Imrefi, Ve'yon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Legali, Legali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill or injured and in need of prayers for healing. As I say the names on my list, please add in the chat any other names for whom you would like to say a Misha Berach. On my list, I have Mary Kennedy, Rosalind Cantu, Mike Haug, Lori Perry, Nick Joliot, Bernard Strassner, Ariel Batsluva, Rhoda Wessler, Marion Finkel, Skip, Kathy, and Jeffrey Brace, Rhonda Butler, Ricky Grant, Michael Ben Panima, Shoshana Bat Abraham, Minna Dornfeld, John Manners, Michael Kumakawa, Neil Savage, Joey Jones, Juliette Origi, Sharon Kalb, Leslie White, Shirley Kronig, John and Winnie Cruel, Jeff Rosen, Lou Balcher, and Michelle Young. And of course, we continue to hold in our thoughts all those who are ill with the coronavirus, who are suffering lung damage from the fires on the West Coast, and various other national tragedies that affect some more than others. The Misha Berach is on page 371, and we hold in our thoughts all of those in need of healing of mind, body, or spirit. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Nekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Ha'azinu, which means give ear. And it records the final song of Moses as he calls down heaven and earth as witnesses to the Israelites' final acceptance of the covenant before he dies and they enter the Holy Land. We stand now on a similar, though hopefully less dramatic, precipice. Much has happened in this year that highlighted and accelerated issues our country has long faced. We may soon see a transition of power like that of Moses to Joshua, but regardless of who is at the head of the nation, we are all responsible for ensuring justice for everyone and promoting peace among our neighbors. At the beginning of the Parsha, Moses starts by calling out, "Give ear, O heavens, let me speak. Let the earth hear the words I utter." Rashi explains Moses' thinking here. Tomorrow I shall be dead. If the Israelites once say, "We have never accepted the covenant," who will come and refute them? Therefore, he called heaven and earth as witnesses against them, witnesses that endure forever. The Israelites did have trouble keeping their faith and holding to the covenant, but ultimately, we know that they accepted it for all eternity because we are here today. As modern Jews, we continue to read this Torah and relate our lives to our ancestors, and we continue to struggle to understand and uphold Jewish values as we understand them. So too have we as Americans struggled to live up to our professed values of freedom and equality. But we must ask ourselves, do we as a nation still commit ourselves to our founding doctrines the way we as Jews still commit ourselves to the Torah? As time passes and society evolves, we have needed to update our understandings of who is included when we say all men are created equal, and how we apply that concept of equality. And it hasn't always been easy for law to keep up with the social morals of the moment. However, at our core, the keystone has been our belief that this is a place for freedom to flourish, for all people to be safe from persecution, for equality and democracy to reign. As we enter a new year as Jews and potentially a new era as Americans, let the heavens and the earth be as our witness again to call us to account for our neglect of our covenants. Let us continue onward bravely as did our ancestors and wrestle with the laws and the world as we know them so that we can truly embrace them. May we find ourselves in a healthier and fairer world in 5781. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. We turn now toward our concluding prayers. The Aleinu is on page 586. And I invite you to prepare yourself for this blessing. Aleinu eshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'boyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishtachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamona, v'anachnu korim, v'mishtachavim motim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar Adonai, V'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. As I read the names of on my lists, please feel free to add names for people that you're mourning, either people who died within the last year or who died at this time of year in years past. And just a quick note, although every Shabbat we remember those who died in the last year and those who are marking a yahrzeit in the week around this week, on Yom Kippur is one of the few times a year, sometimes the only time as Ner Shalom, that we say a Yizkor for everyone that we've lost. Ever. So please be sure to check out the list that Debbie sent out in eKibbutz earlier this week, and make sure that the names you want read are on there. And if you are so inclined, please email me or Debbie. That's rabbi@nershalomva.org or eKibbutz@nershalomva.org if you're willing to read a page of names, because we still need more participants for our Yizkor service on Monday evening. So. As long as we're on the topic of mourning, I'm just going to put that out there. This week marks a yahrzeit for Rebecca Gilman, Leonard Ehrlichman, Arlene Miller, Pearl Lefferson, John Lefferson, Sadie Milgram, Marie Morgan, Joseph Sagel, Ralph Bass, and we are still within the year of mourning for Nancy Holowitz, Roland Laramie, Mindy Ferenz, Moishe Deutsch, Douglas Miguel Rodriguez, Bob Katz, Roger Haug, Paula Cooper, Ernie Weissman, Doris Oleski, Sandra Lenag, David Avery, Art Rich, Jason Brown, Louis Petrozello, Gary Lyons, John DiNicola, Arizona Breeding, Fran Warona, Rick Grossman, Aura Alva Leon, Sharon Buell, Mona Mandel. Normally we wouldn't say Kaddish for someone until they are buried, but it has been a full week since Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, so although her body is still lying in state, I think we can say Kaddish for her as well. And seeing no other names in the chat. Mourners Kaddish is on page 598. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amin. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yitztabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei t'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei teva v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 V'imru amen. Now is a good time to go grab your challah and wine, or your cookies and juice, or whatever you're saying motzi and kiddush over, while I share a few announcements. Being that this is Shabbat Shuvah, we still have many events coming up for our fall holidays. So starting before I get to the holiday lineup, just going chronologically, tomorrow night, Havdalah at 8 p.m. streaming on Facebook and Instagram. Sunday morning at 9:30, there is religious school outdoors at the synagogue. Sunday night is Kol Nidre. We are streaming starting at 7:30 on YouTube only. So please join us there for the Erev Yom Kippur service. Similarly, Yom Kippur morning at 10 a.m. on Monday, we are streaming on YouTube only. So please join us there for the traditional morning service. At 1:30 on Zoom, there will be a Kids High Holy Day program where we will do a fun telling of the Jonah story, and then there will be like some interactive connecting Jonah to the High Holy Day themes kind of discussion, and then probably be less than an hour. And then at 5 we have Yizkor. Again, Please make sure you've got whatever names you want read, and let us know if you are willing to read a page of names. 5 Yisker. At 6:30 will be Ne'ilah. It's the same Zoom room. I'm going to leave the room open. There will be about a half an hour between when Yizkor ends and Ne'ilah begins. So that's your opportunity to make sure your breakfast meal is accessible and ready, so that after Ne'ilah, if you like, you can eat right away and you can stay on, and we can have a sort of digital potluck and break our fast together. So that's Yom Kippur. Just around the corner, then we have Sukkot and Simchat Torah. So the next 2 Friday nights after this one, we will have in-person outdoor services. Please bring your own lawn chairs to set up in the parking lot 6 feet, more than 6 feet apart. Wear masks, bring hand sanitizer, the whole deal. We'll have an opportunity. We'll have Shabbat services, and you'll have an opportunity 1 week from today to shake the lulav and the etrog, and 2 weeks from today we'll do circles with the Torah around the parking lot, so you'll have an opportunity to celebrate Simchat Torah. So it should be a good time. Because there's so much holiday stuff going on, there will be no meditation Shabbat, Yogalelu, or regular Shabbat morning Torah service in October, because there's just too many special events happening that fall on Shabbat this year. So just note that. I think those are the only things imminently. Holidays take up a lot of time right now. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. I thought of one other announcement as I chew. The Partners in Peace t-shirt sale ends on Sunday. So if you haven't already placed an order for everyone you know, please go and do that. I'm not advocating that you shop on Shabbat, but maybe tomorrow night or Sunday morning. I'm not sure exactly what time the sale officially ends, but it does end on Sunday. So, and last I checked yesterday, we hadn't yet met our goal. So if you are on the fence, please support this effort. All profits go to ACTS, which is our local food pantry. And we really want to have a big showing of interfaith peace warriors, partners in peace in Prince William. So please do that. Okay, now I'm done chewing. Our closing song is Hashivenu, which can be found on page 174? No. 374? If you are so inclined, at the very bottom, it's usually part of the Torah service. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai elecha, v'nashmenu shuva v'nashuva Kadesh, Kadesh, mimenu kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva, v'nashuva, Kadesh, Kadesh, Yameinu Kekedem. Return us to you, Adonai, and we will return. Renew our days as of old. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and I will see you soon.